Let me take a look at the sleeve. The difference between a skinny sleeve and a classic sleeve. This is like the biggest designer issue ever. Everyone is always like, "What, can you help me with the skinny sleeve?" And it's like, yeah, all you have to do is follow the armhole. Remember the egg, tipped forward. You've got your body right. And I'm going to show you this flat, but this is the difference between a skinny sleeve and a classic sleeve. This is the same size, same body, just classic and skinny. And what happens with the skinny sleeve is the whole sleeve is so much closer to your body, whereas on a classic sleeve, you follow the crease down to where your arm is moving. You give it plenty of room to move here. You give it plenty of room to move in the elbow, and you let it fall. So on a classic sleeve, you have a much wider area than you do on a skinny sleeve. I love this skinny sleeve because, as you can see, it goes almost right into the armhole. And then what happens here, under the arm, is there's like this little web. Can we see this? It's like a little added fabric right there. And why? So we can move. That's all. You're not going to see that when it's down. But look at how skinny you can make that sleeve. All you do is you follow your armhole. You just follow the armhole and the movement of your arm. Now, there's something else about the sleeve that's really, really important, and that's the elbow. If your sleeve is not at the elbow position, or if your elbow is not at the right position on your sleeve, it will drag. And what happens is, it'll drag like this, and it'll pull down, and you can't move. And you don't know that it's your elbow, but it could be your elbow. There are a couple of things that it would be. One is that the vertical position of your elbow is not matching the vertical position of your actual elbow. That's a really, really important position because that's where you move. I always thought, actually, that the best way to do an elbow would be to just add some little gathers in the back of the elbow. Right here. Right at the elbow so that I can move. And then that would make my sleeve feel better. But actually that wasn't the answer at all. The best way, the most impeccable way to have a sleeve that falls perfectly straight, that travels with you into the overhead rack, into the suitcase, wherever you're going, is don't put those little gathers on the back of the sleeve right at the elbow or any of these pressure points. Pressure points do not get gathers. Above and below the pressure points get gathers because this is where we want our grain line to be solid. This is our safety zone. We don't want this to bag. So what you do is you ease the back because this is where you're moving. That's all you have to do is think, where am I moving? Okay, you're moving from the back. Just ease the back of the sleeve. Ease the back of the sleeve and keep the vertical elbow position straight. Now you'll have a sleeve that lasts forever. Same thing on the classic sleeve. This is exactly in the elbow position. And if you're a manufacturer or a designer, don't kid yourself, there's a ratio. This is what we do for all different kinds of target markets for manufacturers and designers. There's a ratio for every single person, just like our Wells Fargo Bank project. It's not, we're not that different, any of us. How do you add just enough ease to the fit model to move without adding too much? You'll see it in the grain line. When you have your balance of your body, that's what you want to do. Make sure you have the balance of your body. Your grain line and your pressure points will tell you how much ease. If you have this, You're going to need some more ease here. Look, we don't have enough room anymore. Whoops, what are we going to do? Add some more fabric and pinch it. That's all you do. It's all visual. I mean, if you're learning from me, it's all visual. You just see exactly what it is that makes you move, and that's how much ease you put into it. How do you add enough for the lift without having too much excess? That's a good question. What you want to do is you want to go up to your armhole where it moves, and you want to bring the sleeve to where it moves, and try it. Just try it. Match the horizontal and the vertical grain lines. Make sure that elbow position is exactly within the ratio of where your elbow position is or where your size range, target market elbow position is, and your jackets will move. These actually are two-piece sleeves, but you can do this with a one-piece sleeve just as easily, and you do exactly the same thing. If you have a one-piece sleeve, notice the elbow position, give it the ease from the back of the sleeve, and you'll move. It's all about the movement in the back of your sleeve. And as you can see, I can make this sleeve right now. I could pinch and pull this sleeve until it is the skinniest sleeve on the planet, and it's still going to move. Why? Because I've added enough room underneath the arm. I've extended the seam up to where I move. I've extended the side seam up to where I move, and my crease is right at my arm. That's all there is. What about the cap? Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, the cap of the sleeve. Connie, could I have that Balenciaga jacket back? Okay. For example, okay, great. There are a couple of things that you can do. This Italian jacket was made so well, it's almost impossible to make it do the wrong thing. But if, for example, your sleeve has that, let's see, how can I get that? You know, sometimes that sleeve has a little crease here. Just that little vertical line. I hate that. It's because the fabric is pulling. Look at the horizontal grain line. The horizontal grain line is giving you the message. It's telling you that what you need to do is release the sleeve on the top. And once you let this fall down, the vertical grain line is gone. That vertical line on the side of your sleeve is gone. It looks like this. If, for example, on your particular body, there was not enough fabric on this sleeve, and it created this vertical droop on the side, just release it. Let it go until that curve goes away, that vertical line goes away, and then you're going to see how much more you need to add to the sleeve at the top, and that's all you do. You just add that sleeve, that amount of sleeve, exactly what you took off. You add it to the top of that armhole, and it will fit. And then on the horizontal sleeve, where's that little white blouse? I want to show you this. There's a couple things here. Say you're not doing a jacket, you're doing a blouse. And on this blouse, you have this mess, just total mess. What is going on here? All right, first thing you want to do is you want to find your balance in your shoulder. Is it matching my shoulder? Do I feel comfortable in the shoulder? Okay, great. Go on to the crease of the arm. Is it matching the crease of my arm? No, it's not. It's not comfortable at all. Pinch it. All you have to do is pinch and release. What if your arm was way in here? And you're going like, whoo, this jacket is not comfortable. Split it, release it. Just make it match your body. That's all you have to do. Now, if your sleeve is pulling here, because your arm is too big right here, or there's just pressure at this point, something you can do so easily. It's exactly what you would want to do. This just makes me want to split that sleeve so that the pressure goes away. Where do you see the pressure point? Wherever you see the pressure point, that's where you want to let it go. Do I always create a muslin before I work it? You know, I used to. Now I usually just choose fabrics that I like, but it's either white cotton or white linen or something that I know that if I'm happy with the way it looks, I'll just wear it as it is and then recreate it in cashmere or recreate it in any of the other fabrics that I love. Okay, the first thing I thought is to, okay, yeah. I know, Elaine, it really is like it's the natural impulse. You want to take this thing and you want to slice it. Well, what happens when you slice it, can you give me a pair of scissors? What happens when you slice this thing is the fabric spreads out. I'll show you on the pictures. The fabric is going to spread out over the arm. And so your natural instinct would be to slice it. And then what happens is you've added more fabric. Here we go. I hope I have more fabric for this sleeve because I like this blouse. Okay, what happens is, look at this is what you wanted to do with that sleeve in order to make it work, and you did it. And then what happened to the sleeve? The sleeve just got a little bit wider at the cap. Here you go. The sleeve just got a little bit wider at the cap. And that's exactly what you do, and guess what happens? It doesn't have this pressure point anymore. Okay, now the designer complains about the excess. Yeah, so you might have to trim a little bit off the top because your skinny sleeve is shorter than your straight sleeve. But when you slice this part goes out, and then you have just that much more fabric to move. It's just as simple as that.